panels, we live in a world where the education system nowadays becomes strict by compartmentalized children based on their age, instead more prioritizing their capability and intelligence in the same circumstance. The education categorization make it looks like the intelligence only based on their age. If it is they are in the lower age or in the small age, means that their capability and also the competency was still low, where actually it's a wrong concept at all. For example, 7 until 12 years old should in elementary school, and also 12 until 14 in middle school should in their level, and so on and so forth. And at the moment where they are not suitable on that age or inappropriate, they will not pass the test to enter that school or that level. And the system is become like irrelevant for the children who have like, for example, high IQ, AQ, SQ, and so on and so forth, in which even in Indonesia, we have like the level of ability children, such as like C1, C2, C3, and so on and so forth. And then, to crystallize this debate. Firstly, why now the system is getting ineffective and we must resort to make a new policy at all? First, on framing the context of society. In the society, the education system receives a lot of grievance or grumble from the parents of children. That's, for example, starting from the preschool entrance test, like the committee will ask, right? The first question that coming from the committee is like, how old are your children? Not the question like how smart he or she is. Then if your children's age was appropriate, then they will pass, or if not, you have to wait for the next year, etc., or until your children reach the minimum age. Secondly, then they will categorize your children based on age, like grade 1, grade 2, and so on and so forth, right? Where actually they have ability to be more high graders than that. In which, by this system, is explicitly shown that by associating with children who are not on the levels will hinder them from growing, right? From the advancement. There will be like inequality about the right children, because actually the high children, the height of intelligence should get the high level of lesson of material, but because of only their minimum age was not reached, so that they cannot go to that high level of graders. Secondly, on our model. So what is the policy that we want, obviously? Firstly, we will categorize children due to their competency. So in here we provide the mechanism. So the result of that first competency test that we had will not same for each children, whether they are in level 1, level 2, level 3, based on their intelligence and also based on their competency. Secondly, for example, for grade level 1, we will create a certain regulation in which for level 1, we already determine that they will study from the simple or material basis concept, and for grade level 2, they will implementation and also analysis about the concept. Meanwhile, for the high level, like level 3 and so on and so forth, they will evaluate the material and also create or build a breakthrough, in which we want to encourage the different type or different intelligence for each children itself. So, and this debate is actually about an education policy that can give or provide a better protection and care, and which side that will be more focused about each children's uniqueness and capabilities at all, in which we are under our side by creating certain system to put them on the right circumstance. We make like a certain level 1 or C1, C2, C3 that actually already exists nowadays, right? So therefore, we were very clear on our stance that we want to make the educational system more effective and relevant by making this kind of alternative and also implement the policy that we want, obviously, like categorize children based on their competency and intelligence, and we will ensuring that these children don't have any obstacle by having problem with their circumstance, or they have any skid to adaptation with another friends, like because of their friends haven't reach the high level like they are. And of course these parties, for example like parents and then the children, don't have any excuse anymore to having problem with the school system and so on and so forth. Then having that with my setup, now let's moving on to my argument. Firstly, why it is principally justified to categorize children based on their competence level, and my secondly is how it will create a better educational system standard for the people. Firstly, why then it is principally justified to categorize children based on their competence level? I have 3 reasons for this. A, different level of capability in each children. We know that by abolish primary and middle school years that group children based on their age, and it's only like instead group them by competency and intelligence, will easy for the children to adaptation, because the children that are not capable enough will feel burdened by the learning process that already determined that they haven't understood yet actually. And of course it will affect to the understanding of the lesson or the continuity for their understanding, right? At the end they will not achieve what they want actually, because because they already have the fixed mindset that is already difficult beforehand, then be hard to reach rapidly advancement. Because in the status quo, the smart children sometimes got asked by the teacher to also teach their other friends that haven't understand yet. Well, actually, we believe that this time should be used by them with the learning of the next level of lesson itself. So it will put obstacle by inappropriate level and appropriate the circumstance itself. Therefore, by this abolishment, it means that we'll give opportunity for children to have time for themselves to increase their knowledge. Instead, they also need to teach their another friends and so on so forth. We think it's important for them to increase their knowledge first, and then they can share for the other friends. And then by this abolishment, children can know, right, which side they actually should improve and should achieve, so that they will have a certain target that they should reach on that minimum high level and so on so forth. For example, we already have like the C1, C2, C3, in which we already categorize. C1 is for understanding, C3 for example is for analyze, evaluation, and so on and so forth. Now, then, jumping to my second argument on how it will create a better educational system standard for the people, like for the children and also for the parents itself. Three reasons for this. A, understanding concept will be more specific, because we have certain parameters in here, right? Which part they minimum can reach, etc. Because we already categorize them based on their level, and of course every learning process having a target itself. So they, for example, like today and for tomorrow, they have to achieve this material so that there will be a certain target. And B, it will be suitable with the concept that already determined and what they understood, because firstly, they already achieve like the comfortable circumstance that they can get, right? Because like we can provide the high advanced teacher, the class was full of, and so on so far, so that they will achieve also see the significantly development and understanding knowledge, right? And even if the opposition might be say that it will discriminate like the people or the children that looks like not smarter than the others, or seem to do outdo other children at lower levels, we disagree with this, because on our side, in here we try to achieve the same target. At the end of the day, people will realize if it is we try to increase their knowledge, we will have a same goal in here to increase the quality the students and the children itself. There's no any tangible at all that we want to give to them by giving them actually the comfort atmosphere and encourage them to have a better understanding of the lesson itself. And therefore, in here we will make a better education system and also want to make a comfortable for the students. With all these reasons, proud to propose. Thank you.